Hyped intro, cut 1.
Attention.
Turn it up and get ready.
Get ready. You're tuned into
The Mikkel Casanova Podcast.
Get your dance shoes on because is on.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 rated podcast, The Mikkel Casanova Podcast. I'm your host, Mikkel Casanova, coming at you with a brand new interview with the one, the only, the man who voices Ryu of Street Fighter, as well as Gohan from Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z, and the newest released and announced character, Kage from Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, the one, the only, Kyle Hebert. This man has decades of experience in the industry. He comes at you with so much experience. His character, his cadence, everything about how he voices his characters is unique. The man's phenomenal, and it's an honor to have him on Hawaii's #1 podcast. And we're about to go ahead and get into it. So if you're ready to do it, I'm ready to do it. Let's go ahead and welcome this guest on the show. Kyle, take it away.
The answer lies in the heart of battle. And Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Casanova Podcast. This is Kyle Hebert, the voice of Ryu from Street Fighter. Hadouken!
All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Mikkel Casanova Podcast. I'm your host, Mikkel Casanova, and I have with me, it's such an honor and a privilege to have the legendary Kyle Hebert on my show. Kyle, please introduce yourself.
Okay, well, cool. Thank you. It's great to be here. I've been to Hawaii a few times, and it is so gorgeous there. I'm so jealous. But anyway, yeah, my last name's actually pronounced Hebert. It's Louisiana French, and so I know it looks like Hebert, and sometimes people misspell it as Herbert, but the H is silent and the E is pronounced like an A, so it's like a bear is attacking me. Oh no,
A bear. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I have been voice acting for the past 18 years. I started on this little independent struggling show that no one's heard of called Dragon Ball Z. And yeah, man, I came out the gate swinging. I mean, I got so lucky. I transitioned from a DJ on Radio Disney, introducing Kid Records and all that. Before that, I was like a heavy metal DJ, introducing Slayer and Metallica, and then going to Weird Al and Backstreet Boys. Like, what?
Really?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh man,
and
I love Slayer.
Yeah, heard about auditions. Heard about auditions at Funimation, and went in, tried out for Teen Gohan or Adult Gohan. I don't know how you would call it, but I mean high school age. You know, it's after the Cell Saga, so I took over the role from, at that time, Stephanie Nadolny, and nowadays on Kai, you hear Colleen Clinkenbeard in the role, and I have basically been Adult Gohan ever since then, for all the movies and all the games, including Dragon Ball FighterZ now available on the Switch. Yeah, so
awesome.
Yeah, and getting to start on such a phenomenal thing opened up so many doors. I got to go on the convention circuit and literally go around the world meeting fans who have embraced the Dragon Ball franchise for years, and it is so humbling and so wonderful to be a part of this thing that already was a huge smash hit in Japan, and then it becomes this huge international hit, and then finally, like, oh my gosh, it's Goku's at the Macy's Day Parade. What?
Yeah, I saw that. That was amazing.
Another huge benchmark, and then of course this new movie Broly dropping in theaters in January, and yeah, people are pretty stoked. They either grew up on it or they're still in the fandom and exposing their kids and siblings and friends to it as well. So it's just like the ball keeps rolling.
Yeah, then it's certainly an amazing ball, because you have been able to voice so many characters over the years. Like, you've been very influential, and your portrayal of innumerable characters, from Ryuji from Blue Exorcist to Sosuke Aizen from Bleach, and Kamina from Gurren Lagann, and Gohan, and now you've been the voice of Ryu for 10 years now, I want to say.
Yeah, starting on Street Fighter 4, and then obviously 5, but also Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite and Cross Tekken and Smash Brothers, which will be dropping very soon on the Switch, and it's just basically porting over the existing ones. I mean, at least as far as my character is concerned, I haven't, no spoilers really, but you'll hear the same voice track like, so this is Smash, sure you can, all that stuff.
Like, how does it feel knowing that you've been able to influence like generations of fans from Dragon Ball and Street Fighter and innumerable anime roles, and having inspired me to want to become a voice actor, like myself included?
Well, when you, again, coming from a personal standpoint, it's achieving those goals, just like wanting to do something and getting to do it finally, just sticking to your guns and jumping through hoops and just doing whatever it takes to get out there and make it happen. But the real icing on the cake is, getting embraced for what you do, and they like what you do, and it influences them. Like yourself, you said you're interested in this field now, and that's amazing and stuff. And hearing other people tell their stories about maybe they're on the brink of depression or a dark time in their life, and they'll play a game or watch a show that me or my colleagues have been a part of, and they say, that really talked me back from the edge, man. You really made a difference. And so now the late, great Stan Lee, rest in peace, would basically considered what he did in anyone in entertainment to be therapy. Be therapeutic. It's like, wow, we really are saving lives. It's not an egotistical thing to say that you make a difference in someone's life like that, from all walks of life, from people that just work at a fast food chain to people that are stationed in a foreign land in the military, or dealing with hospitalization or terminal illness or whatnot. We've dealt with it all, and it's so amazing to make such a difference.
Yeah, it's like, for me, a bit of a personal background for me. Like, I'm 2.5 years cancer free. I had colorectal cancer, and I definitely have to say, like, the character you've portrayed with Ryu and his never give up attitude, like the way you've portrayed him, that really, because I've grown up as a Ryu fan since the early 90s, and that was one of the things that really helped me in my battle with cancer, of never giving up, because I got to stage 2, and it was hard, because like my dad and one of my older brothers went through it, and it's something. It's what the work that you guys do, it inspires and motivates. So I want to thank you for that personally.
You're welcome, and congratulations on kicking cancer's butt. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very, very great to hear.
Yeah. Thank you. So I wanted to ask you, like, what inspired you to get into voice acting?
I think, as most children, the thing that we're exposed to most is cartoons and animated things, and I was just entrenched in that, watching Looney Tunes, classic stuff, and my dad's telling me on Saturday morning, it's like, hey, let's watch Looney Tunes, and of course I'm cracking up and falling in love with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all these characters that aren't as well known nowadays to the current generation, but I mean, it was so influential for people growing up in the 60s, 50s, 40s, and for me in the 70s. Huge to see the incredible talent that Mel Blanc brought to the surface. He basically was the reason voice actors were able to be credited. Before, they were just not even an afterthought. The folks on all those Disney movies, you watch the movies, and you probably wouldn't see a cast list and all that. He fought for that. He fought against Warner Brothers. They weren't going to do that. But his incredible dedication and talent really helped influence a whole generation. I've heard it repeatedly through people that I look up to in the industry, saying Mel Blanc, it's totally Mel Blanc. So I'm like 8-9 years old saying, I want to do what Mel Blanc did when I grow up. Yeah.
Hey, you've definitely been able to do that. That's super amazing.
Well, I'm definitely hoping to break into more of the domestic animation stuff. You know, good. I've made a whole career, and I'm so blessed to have done it with anime dubs and video games, whether it's dubbing Japanese games into English or ones that originate here. And working on all sorts of different projects. It's really opened up my mind, and I think that's key to success in anything, is having an open mind. Don't just say, well, I only want to do this. You know, it's like you're going to take away some fantastic experiences, whether positive or negative, but always educational. And I've learned a lot since, you know, being the deer in the headlights going, I want to do this, to actually being in the industry and seeing how things actually work and what it actually takes to do this sort of stuff.
Oh, awesome. And, you know, were you, when you got into voice acting, were you ever trained or? I
ended up taking acting classes after, believe it or not, after I started working on Dragon Ball. I took the improv classes and character creation and things like that. But really, if I could go back, I would have done those first. A lot of people that are interested in this, you know, I encourage everyone to take a class and see if you have, you know, that diamond in the rough quality, because you do have to have some sort of, you know, some rough talent for things, and maybe you'll learn through taking the classes, and maybe it's not for you. Maybe you'll discover while taking the classes you're more interested in another facet of it, and you start pursuing writing or directing or producing or all sorts of different avenues that acting can launch into. Yeah, and that's just wow, I totally lost my train of thought there.
No worries. Yeah. So what has been your favorite character to voice act for currently?
I have been most proud. It all goes back to Gohan, of course, because that led to everything else since then. Naruto, Bleach, Street Fighter, and all that. And being in Street Fighter, I want to give props to Jonathan Klein at New Generation Pictures for reaching out to Disney back in 2012 when Wreck-It Ralph first dropped, and they said, hey, we can give you the actual voice talent if you want. And they did. They approached me to have a little cameo as Ryu, and if you see Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, you can hear me say, sure you can, in the background at Tappers. Just one line, but hey, you know, I got to be part of 2 really wonderful Disney movies for this generation, and I love them even just as a fan of pop culture, even if I weren't involved. But that was just something on the bucket list. It's like, man, I want to be a voice on a Disney movie. It's like, okay, done. All right, next. It's like, oh, sweet. Okay, well, all right. I'm just going to keep doing this thing and see where it goes.
Awesome, man. That's, you know, and that's really inspiring too. It's like you were a fan of it growing up, and then now you get to be part of it, like regardless of the role, like that could open doors to even more. So
yeah, you really can't put into words what it feels like. It's kind of like going from not knowing what it's like to have kids to becoming a parent. It's like you just can't describe what was it like when you first saw your baby come into the world, and like, oh, it's just like all the other troubles melt away, and you know, it's all that. It's like it can be a life-altering sort of thing when you're achieving some goal you've had for any amount of time. I mean, not to poo-poo on anyone's life. It's like, hey, I made my dream happen in 6 months. It's like, hey, that is just as amazing as someone who's fought for years to get somewhere, wherever it is they want to take them.
Awesome. And you know, going back to Dragon Ball Z, like, were you surprised, like, looking back in hindsight, like, how loved your portrayal of Gohan was by the fandom?
I'm just truly honored and flattered by it. Actually, the first reviews I saw when Toonami on Cartoon Network aired the first stuff of Teen Gohan, I saw bad reviews. I mean, the first reviews were just awful, but I quickly realized they were coming from fans that hate English dubs to begin with. So it's like, all right, well, that's an uphill battle that you're just not going to be able to get over. And then once the DVD format came, you know, the sub versus dub war should have been completely quashed, but squashed, but you know, it still goes on. So it's like, hey, don't feed the trolls. You know, whatever version of anime you love, embrace it, and just don't be a jerk to other people. I know as the creator of that stuff, if it's reaching an international audience of all these different languages and stuff, you would be proud. Yeah. As I'm sure Japan and all the studios are involved with Toei, for example, that they've been able to penetrate a worldwide market and make even more money doing this, because it is a business at the end of the day. Yeah.
And were you surprised, like, when you were called back in, like, for the redub of Dragon Ball Z with the Kai revision, and even with the current Super Series, to bring you back and reprise your role as Gohan? Was that surprising for you?
It was surprising that they decided to do the Kai series and decided to do new movies and decided to do a new series, you know, springing off that. And like, oh my gosh, and now it's another movie, which I now hear will probably spring into another series. So yeah, it's pretty wild. It's not that I've learned to expect the unexpected when it comes to Dragon Ball. You know, when the first time we finished dubbing all the episodes, I thought, wow, okay, well, I'm going to miss it because it was so great. And then it's like, all right, now we're going to go back and dub it from the beginning uncut. Oh, okay. All right, let's go back and do that uncut. All right, we're going to do the movies. Okay, we do the movies. All right, now we got games. We got like one new game a year. Like, oh, sweet. Okay. The gift that keeps giving. Meanwhile, everyone's getting to travel the world, go to conventions, and spread the gospel of Toriyama. And it just floors me. I thought that they would just make movies after the success of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. I just figured Dragon Ball was just going to be pure movies from here on out, because they're easier to make, honestly, and they're so profitable. You know, they were, you know, like number 5 in the box office in the United States, both of them, like in their release time, against other huge summer blockbusters. I mean, it was selling out of its limited engagement. They had to add more screenings, and that tells you something.
Yeah, I know out here in Hawaii, it's sold out. All theaters. Like, if you didn't get tickets when it first went up in the first 15 to 20 minutes, you were SOL. It was not happening.
Yeah, and that, I think, between that and the Pokemon movies, it's really, through the years, opened up a gateway of other releases, you know, with companies like Fathom Events that will bring limited anime engagements to theaters over the course of a weekend or maybe a couple weekends, and those end up selling out. And they're all different genres. It's not all just, you know, big shonen type anime. It could be romance stuff. It could be horror. It could be mystical, fantastical stuff. Just and it's so awesome to see that happen.
Yeah. And were you surprised with, like, the direction that Dragon Ball Super took Gohan to bring back his warrior nature?
I was, because I thought, wow, okay, they're going in the direction of, okay, he's going to be the responsible parent, you know, because Goku wasn't exactly there for him, and a lot of fans like to say Piccolo's the real dad, you know. Yeah. You know, yeah, it's like from a completely selfish standpoint, it's like, come on, give Gohan some more screen time, let him help out a little more. It's like, don't relegate him to the side. We have a chance to retcon all that and give Gohan a much better faith than just being that studious bookworm type. But it is cool to see him be a really good father and supportive of his wife and child, and of course be able to come back into the fray and do what he's best known for. And even get a little goofy reprise of The Great Saiyaman, which I have a blast getting to revisit that. And on Kai, too. I forgot to mention, on Kai, it was this rare opportunity to redub those episodes, this time with a faithful script, and this time with way more experience under our belt as actors. A lot of us on Dragon Ball Z that did come back for the Kai dub, you know, that was our earliest stuff. And we go back and kind of flinch when we hear videos and see clips and like, oh, I could have done that better. And then on Kai, you know, say what you will about like, oh, well, I prefer the original, I prefer the uncut because they changed it too much or this, that, and the other. But I think it's a great, rare opportunity to say, hey, we've gotten to revoice, you know, now that we're more experienced actors, we can bring something and beef up these performances and hopefully influence a new generation that may say, hey, 291 episodes, that's kind of daunting. Well, here, watch Kai. It'll cut stuff out and get to the meat of the act, you know? So, yeah.
And, you know, you were also the voice of Sosuke Aizen in Bleach. So what was it like being I'm just going to say the main villain for the show and working opposite of Johnny Young Bosch, who voices Ichigo Kurosaki? Well,
Johnny, of course, has been super, super awesome and in the industry longer than me. I mean, I saw like Trigun, and of course he's done it for the Power Rangers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the redub of Akira and all this stuff leading up to, it's like the weird thing about dubs is we have to record one actor at a time, so I didn't work directly with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And that's that tricky balance that you have to do. It's like, this was why we always tell people that want to get into voice acting that acting is the foundation. It's not about doing voices. You have to be a good actor. We have to make it believable that we're carrying one side of the conversation without that person even being there and without having studied the script. No rehearsals. We come in, we cold read it, and we commit to it. In the studio, just line by line, and the director will guide us, you know, a little bit faster, a little slower, a little more intense, or let's back off the mic a little bit, a little more whispery, and whatnot. And it's this dance, you know, much like a conductor in an orchestra.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you know, when you're selected for a role for, you know, be it an anime or a game, like, what is the process for you to get into the mind of the character to properly portray them?
I've just learned through the years to just snap my fingers and go into the zone, because improv and making snap decisions on the fly is so key to being successful in this business as well. Improv, taking those classes and thinking on the fly, committing to a performance, but also being flexible, because the director could throw you a curveball and take you in a way different direction. And your goal as the actor is to, of course, please first and foremost the director and or the client, which sometimes can be present in the studio. So that pressure is definitely on. It's never on the actor to make decisions about, you know, like, I want you to do this take and I want to do this over again. It's like, well, it's not our call. You know, we have to be moldable to what the vision is for that script. Again, you know, going from cold reads and all that. So the prep, I would say, goes back to even before you step in the booth. It's taking those classes and learning the foundation of acting, so that once you have that opportunity to even just audition, you'll have that little window of 5 minutes to make a great first impression, that you know your stuff, that you can take direction, you can give them what they're looking for, or you can change what you gave and all that, because it's not just trying out for the role. The director is seeing, hey, what would it be like if I get to work with this person? Are they going to be easy to work with, or are they going to be a pain? And so on. So yeah, you're juggling a lot of things there. And
you know, speaking of Capcom and Street Fighter, like, how was it like, or have you had the opportunity to work with directly with Capcom or with like the Street Fighter director Yoshinori Ono?
I don't know if I worked directly with him, but definitely representatives in Japan. They weren't. Let's see, some were in the studio representing Capcom in America. Then we'd have representatives from Capcom back in Japan listening over Skype. So the sessions wouldn't go as fast as they normally would, but I mean, for a very good reason. You know, the Capcom is very, as well they should be, any client, about their property. They want to make sure that whenever it's being localized into whatever language it's going to, that they put their stamp of approval on the performance and everything. So So yeah, it's like, hey, I'm making the director happy, I'm making Capcom America happy, and most of all, making Capcom Japan happy. And you know, we can get that done in as little as 2 hours, or maybe 4 hours, maybe 8 hours, stretched out over a few sessions. It just depends on the workload and the line count of dialogue and fight sounds and stuff.
So when it comes to like your experience with like voicing Ryu, like how was the audition process for back when Street Fighter 4 was being localized? What was the audition process like?
It was so top secret, I didn't even know what I was trying out for. I had to sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, before I could even audition. So I arrived at the studio to try out, and the director says, "Don't freak out. I have a feeling you'll know what this is as soon as you open it." I go, "Oh, okay." I open this 3-ring binder, and I see these familiar characters. I go, "Oh," it's like, "Shh." I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, just pick whoever you want to read for. Pick, 4, 5, 6, up to 6 maybe. Whoever you want to read for. So, okay, Ryu's huge. I'll read for Ryu. I'll read for Ken. I'll read for M. Bison. And this new one, El Fuerte. I'll read for him. So I went in, and I didn't hear anything for a couple of months. And then I'm at a convention with the director of the game in America for the English one, Taliesin Jaffe, who voices Blanca. And we were at a con. He goes, "Hey, congratulations, by the way." I said, "On what?" It's like, "You got the man." It's like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, you got Ryu." Like, really? Oh my God. And, I'm at a convention. I'm just dying to tell the world, but I signed an NDA, right? We can't talk about it until the game's out. So we record our voice tracks, again, one actor at a time, over the course of several months. They'd get revisions and add cutscenes and things like that. And it took about a year before Street Fighter actually dropped to the public. And then we could say, "Oh, by the way, I'm this guy." So that was hard to keep quiet. I lost many a quarter on the arcade version of Street Fighter back in the day. And this was so cool that the game series was, Capcom said, "Yeah, we're going to dedicate, we're going to have a dedicated English cast from here on out." So I thought, oh, yay, future work.
So, like, when it comes to voicing Ryu, not only in Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, but, Street Fighter 4 and Cross Tekken and Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite, like, how did it feel? Like, what challenges did you have to face and overcome when it became time to be Ryu?
The only real challenge that I find, and a lot of other people in the industry will tell you firsthand, is just when you have to do a lot of screaming, that tears your voice up, no matter how you slice it. You try to minimize that with like Chinese cough syrup or throat drops or lozenges or sprays or hot tea, and we've got all those tools at our disposal during the session, but we'll record all the quiet dialogue stuff first, and then the shouty fight reactions and death screams and all that agony stuff towards the end of the session. And hopefully you'll walk out of the studio with your vocal cords not too shredded, because, I've had this happen before where I've done nothing but scream, and then I have to cancel the next session because my voice is just too shot. And, that gets a little stressful because the studio has to, rearrange everything on the fly and change the schedule, because time is money. The people are being paid to be there. The director, the actor, the engineer. The studio time is very expensive. So if someone cancels, you got to fill that slot with someone. So you shift everyone around, and hopefully they can just reschedule you at another time if you get sick or certainly run down by all this. They call it vocally stressful in the industry. That's the nice way of saying we're going to kill your voice today.
Oh wow! And because I'm friends with the voice of Cody Travers, Michael T. Coleman, who actually he just messaged me. He told me to tell you hi.
Oh, hi! Yeah, he's awesome.
So I know he was telling me before when I interviewed him about there's this it's some type of juice he drinks. He said it helps with the screaming scenes or anything like that. Like, do you also have is there anything you prefer to drink to, I guess, care for your voice?
Well, the studio is always loaded with room temperature water and cold water. Room temperature water is actually better for your vocal cords, although I prefer cold water. But yeah, you want to stay away from cold drinks, soda pop. You want to stay away from coffee or any milk products, because that produces phlegm and mucus, and that's just gross. And these microphones are super sensitive, so they hear stuff when the mouth clicks and all that stuff that just gums up the works and makes you have to do multiple takes. So if you can minimize that, even taking one bite of a green apple, the acidity level in a green apple helps remove the clicky sounds from your voice. Wow. So yeah, I do have. I'm stocked up on Chinese cough syrup, and I have them in lozenge form. And there's, peppermint tea is usually at the studio too. So yeah, I'm ready for all of it.
So, there's an amazing level of chemistry between your and Ruben Langdon's portrayals of Ryu and Ken that you can tell that there's like this true brotherhood between the two characters, with how you two have brought them to life in the English dubs for, Street Fighter 4 and onward. Like, do you and Ruben get to work together often, or?
We don't, actually, because this goes back to just the technical recording process of games and animation. If we were cast together on a cartoon, we would record at the same time. They have a multiple mic setup in the room. Everyone has their own music stand with the script. Everyone has their own mic, and they might be seated in a big semicircle. But for anime and video games, we have to come in one at a time, especially if we're localizing games from Japanese into English or any other language into English, because you have to match the timing of that original soundtrack, because the animation is being animated to match that. So you have the constriction of that, not necessarily the mouth flap stuff, because the game's being animated when we're recording it, so we have no guidance other than, it took 6.7 seconds to say this line in Japanese, we got to make it match 6.7 or maybe 6.6 seconds in English. Very little wiggle room to go above that, but the Pro Tools recording software can tell you down to the frame excuse me, of what you need to get it in the ballpark, and they can squeeze or compress or expand only to a certain point, because it ends up sounding robotic, and you want to avoid that. You try to get that organically during the take. So yeah, with Ruben, I mean that hey, means we're hitting the mark. If you say, hey, we've been able to foster this great brotherly friendship and all that, and me and Ruben have had very little FaceTime together. Very, very little. We've been in a couple of cons over the years, and that's about it. Honestly, never get to see the guy. I mean, when we recorded the cameo for Wreck-It Ralph, even, he went in before me, and he'd come out, and I'm in the lobby going, all right, well, have fun. All right, good to see you, man.
Oh, wow. I guess my last Street Fighter question is, how much of you is in your portrayal of Ryu?
How much of me? Well, let's see. I'm definitely not a fighter. I have no muscles. I don't have giant feet. Oh, no, it's true. I don't know. Am I taller? Do you know all his specs? I'm 6'3". How tall is Ryu? Do I have anything in common with this guy?
It's weird because some games say he's 5'7", some say 5'10", and then I think now he's 5'9". I don't know. He's growing and shrinking, I guess.
Okay. I will say, when he speaks English, he sure sounds a lot like me. That's what we have in common. But other than that, we have zero in common. But I do appreciate the character, the whole Zen stuff, and staying focused and staying, like you were saying, very inspirational, and pick up where you're at and just try again.
Yeah.
Dust off your shoulders, and it's like, all right, I got this, man. That is an aspect that I think anyone could take that positivity away, and be able to help guide them through this wacky thing called life.
Yeah. So you're also Escanor, from season 2 of Seven Deadly Sins. Now, how was that experience playing a character that has two vastly different personalities and forms? Now, I know people could say Ryu has that, but I think Escanor, they're drastically different.
Yeah, that's true. He's this little mousy sort of guy, and yes, of course. And the big strong guy, he kind of reminds me of Armstrong in Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
The big bravado and the abs of steel, and like, oh my gosh. I was so excited. The director, Chris Kaysen, who also adapted the scripts, said, "Boy, we got a good one for you. You're like the final sin and this big reveal, and this is some great stuff to chew into here, because it's not just one voice or one side of a character. It's like you get to portray these vastly different aspects. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Because I honestly, and to this day, have not seen any of Seven Deadly Sins outside of what I've recorded for my character.
Oh wow!
And this is actually the case for a lot of the actors, because we're so busy doing auditions and sessions, and we're just busy with real life that we don't have time to just sit down and enjoy or binge watch too many things, especially of our own the things that we're on.
Mm-hmm.
But I am super stoked that Seven Deadly Sins made such a good impression on the fans, and they were able to go ahead and deliver the other seasons.
Yeah, my wife is a big fan of your portrayal of Escanor.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Thank you.
She's like, he nailed it. I was like, oh, look, I was like, I don't know how to compare it to anything else. She's like, yeah, coming from the manga, because she's diehard manga fan.
Yeah.
And so like she's like, yeah, he portrayed it just like he would in the manga. I was like, that's awesome. I haven't read the manga. It's so hard because I work for a hospital, so it's like if I'm not doing a podcast or reviewing games for like Capcom or Sony or Nintendo, then I'm working. So it's like it's so hard. That's why I go back to like what you were saying earlier about being busy with life, that you don't have time for stuff. So that's
well, in terms of nailing the performance, I think credit goes to between a team of people.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Kaysen is juggling many things, and he is super passionate about every project he works on. So that guy eats, breathes, and sleeps Seven Deadly Sins. So I totally give credit to him for having to know these characters inside and out and be able to guide me. Because again, we go in there and this is cold reading. We're seeing this material for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Once we're in the booth. So we trust our director to catch us up with kind of a bullet point sort of, all right, here's the Cliff Notes version. Here's a quick paragraph summarizing this series up to this point. Here's what your character is going to do in this episode. Like, okay, cool. And take it down scene by scene. So yeah, it's almost like recording in a vacuum, and like you're imagining you're one piece of the puzzle. The engineer's another piece of the puzzle. The director's another piece of the puzzle. The translator, the writer, the client, the sound mixers, all of that stuff. And obviously the animators, and everybody, and back to the original creator of the material in the first place for the manga. So there's a whole lot of people out there working very hard. So I think it's hats off to the team whenever the fan says they nailed it. It's like, sweet, we did our job, guys.
And you won an award at the Anime Expo in 2009 for Best English Voice Actor, in the SPJA Awards for your role as Kamina in Gurren Lagann. Like, what was your reaction when you won that award, and how did it feel?
I thought I had no chance, because that year I was up against Sam Jackson for Afro Samurai, and golly, Dave Wittenberg in Naruto, and God, there was a couple others, and I thought, wow, it's just an honor to be nominated. But yeah, my jaw dropped when I picked that up, and amazing for Michelle Ruff as well, who's Yoko, who picked up Best Female English Voice Award that year. And yeah, I have that award on display on my bookshelf here in the living room. It's just another benchmark moment. Was such a pivotal character in a show that's meant so much to a worldwide audience, long before we got to do the English dub. I mean, there's at least a good full year that it was building its fandom, and then we were able to crank it out in English and get it on Sci-Fi Network with like 3 successful airings. And we just last year celebrated the 10th anniversary of the show. They put the remastered episodes in a Blu-ray box set, and we were at Otakon in Baltimore last year, and they had this 10th anniversary panel with folks like myself and Michelle and Tony Oliver, who directed the dub, and some of the other people on board. We just packed one of the largest panel rooms at Otakon, and they watched like the final episode, and just the electricity in the air was just stunning to be a part of that.
So, fun fact the audience may not be aware of, and I know we talked about it before we went live on the show, but you're also a podcaster and co-founder and host of Big Ball Broadcast. Like, what draws you to podcasting, and what inspired you to start one?
Well, it goes back to my love of being on the air and radio, terrestrial radio. Being a kid, I used to take a cassette player and just do pretend radio stations on my turntable and do mock commercials and stuff. Grow up, get a broadcast degree, and work in radio on the air, living that dream out. And come along around 2004, 2005, this whole thing about podcasts comes out. It's like, wow, the power of radio in the palm of anyone's hand with a keyboard and an internet connection. I mean, to be able to instantly post your own on-demand talk show or listening experience, whatever, for free, uncensored. You're not dealing with the FCC and having to deal with censorship and any of that. I mean, if you want to have a talk show about, different breeds of zebras, you can do that, and you will find an audience for it. So I was super, super stoked to be able to do that stuff, like when podcasting was just starting to blossom. And through the years, the Big Ball Broadcast and my buddy Steve Baptista, Otherworld Steve, as he was known, were able to bring back different incarnations of pop culture and geek news and all that, and bring it out, for the love. When you're a podcast, you can't do it for money. So few people do that.
Oh,
and then I see people added to the chat like that guy.
Don't do it for the money.
I will never do it for the money, Michael Coleman. You see his handsome face on the camera here, but I'm not showing myself because I'm lazy. And
I crashed Bosco's interview too, and he was all like, "Oh, I'm not putting my face on there."
Yeah, well, okay, you can dub us, Mike. You can just totally. We'll speak, and you just move your mouth.
Okay, hi. My name is Kyle Aber, and I voice Rio in Street Fighter. You might know my buddy Michael Coleman, who also voices on Street Fighter. Cody!
Best dub ever.
My kids couldn't even tell the difference. They just thought I was talking.
Right? Like, Dad, what happened?
I'll have to send him here. Hold on.
Good
When I
times.
interrupted Bosco's, I was like, "Are you wearing a Chicago Bulls t-shirt?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Does he ever not wear a Chicago Bulls t-shirt?
It's a little creep. Hey.
Is it cold over there, or?
I don't know. Is it cold? Coleman, is it cold? You look like you're wearing a coat.
Yeah.
He's from Florida.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I was back east last week. It was not a nightmare.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Thanksgiving, like in New York, ever.
Well, yeah, so you know what it's like to actually experience cold. People in California don't. It's 62 degrees on the West Coast here.
What?
And
Really?
sunny. Yeah.
It feels like 30. Or maybe not. I have to put on 2 layers.
I mean, we died a couple days ago when it rained.
Oh, yeah. My son's like, "Why does everyone freak out when it rains?" I'm like, "Well, not used to it."
Yeah,
And
they're totally not used to it.
hydroplane everywhere because it's not built.
People would do that back in Dallas with me growing up. And every time it would snow, people go, "What is this weird thing?" And then sleet would form, and everybody thinks they can go full speed and then slam on the brakes. No, not so much.
What?
Oh, Coleman, where's Bonnie?
I don't know. She never wrote back.
Yeah.
I see her all the time. We actually were both. I was like, "Bonnie, let's both bomb his interview." Come on. Or it seems like I'm the one that keeps interrupting other people's interviews.
That's cool. You're giving this poor guy a lot to edit out, aren't you?
Wow, this interview only lasted 20 minutes. It's so weird.
Oh.
Bathroom.
How often have you guys got the chance to work together?
What do you mean
Let's
by
see. What are we on besides Street Fighter?
I mean, does Adventure count?
Adventure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was explaining that to him. That this crazy world of voice acting. We're lucky if we see each other at a con, much less in our own cities.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the only time I really see Bonnie, one of the reasons I even have shows are just so I can see Bonnie. It's when we do like tales, like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you know, projects, work, food. These are great motivators to get people out of their little caves. It's like, okay, today I will people, I suppose.
Well, you're never around. You're always gone, like every weekend.
It feels like it. This year has been like I've only had like 9 cons, so I have been around, but I've been living life. I got married this year, so.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
Wait, that hasn't come up in the past hour?
No. We talked a lot about my career, which I guess is kind of the focus, but that's all right.
Oh, there's a focus. Oh, that's right. Yeah, wasn't there a video of you beating the crap out of me? Let me see if I can find it.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, that short from a few years back.
Yeah.
Oh, there-
yeah.
There's a short.
I got it. I got you hitting me with a glass. Okay. Here we go. What? Oh my God, they're all watching. How do I look at my own thing? Oh, I think I did it. Oh, am I freaking you guys out? Okay. Can you see that? Whoa. All right, here we go.
Oh, wow.
I'd shaved my face
You lost
accidentally.
about 70 pounds since then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's safe to say you both are taller than me. I'm 6'1".
Oh yeah, Philip. Yeah, that's weird. I thought you were taller than me. Okay.
Oh, Coleman, you're taller than I am.
Ow.
Aren't you?
Sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm 7'4" with my Kiss platform shoes. So. No.
Keep talking. I'm not here.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You can search.
We're talking about something important when I show
Oh.
up.
Oh yeah, we had a podcast, didn't we?
Sometimes he'll pop in and be like, "Hey guys, it's my show. Can you shut up?"
Oh, so did I answer that question before we got sidetracked?
Remember the question?
Oh, the podcasting one? Or is it the?
Oh yeah, the podcast thing. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
answered it.
I think yeah, you did. Oh, what are some of your favorite podcasts to listen to?
I love. Let's see, golly, I love the WTF one with Mark Maron.
Mm-hmm.
I love Talk is Jericho. Chris
Oh,
Jericho.
man. Love that one.
I love some wrestling ones like Solid Monster. What
about the Ross Report?
Sorry?
The Ross Report?
Ross Report. I've heard of that. I actually haven't sat down and listened to it. I like paranormal stuff. I like Bizarre States, some Nerdist ones. Golly. I'm all about discovering things. Sometimes voice actors will do audio dramas and it's like, ooh, that I want to see like the radio drama come back in the internet age, and it's there in podcast form.
Oh, so does that mean we're going to see you on Tales of the Extraordinary?
Keep threatening.
Not going to say no.
Fine.
Hey, it's better as a voice actor, so I've trained as that first. So I'm spoiled by having my script in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, on camera is a little daunting. And it only feels better when I'm watching outtakes and seeing like people like Jack Nicholson and other people screw up constantly and have to do like 50 takes. It's like, all right, I'm not the only one who has trouble memorizing lines.
That's why film is so good, because you get to just redo it.
Yeah. But live performances, however, theater, oh my God. But some people are addicted to that rush. It was like, oh my God, the pressure's on. I have to get it right the first time.
What are some projects that you have in the works currently that you are allowed to share? And Coleman, that applies to you too.
Oh, what was this on here like 2 weeks ago? I haven't done anything. It's surgery. Oh no, wait, that makes me a voice actor now. What? Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Wait, your scar healed, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's healing really good.
Oh yeah.
That's your new nickname, Scar.
Hey, Jim booked me, and I was like, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm gonna have surgery like 2 days before that." But I'll probably be better a little after. I didn't realize it was like a massive gash.
Oh,
I'm a
my
character.
Lord.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even notice that till now. You said it.
Oh good. Excellent.
Got like the mark of Harry Potter.
Oh, I had stitches going on. It was awesome. It was like a pirate.
Arr!
So sexy.
Okay. But anyway, projects. Let's see. What can I talk about? Well, we've got the final story arc, I guess, of Dragon Ball Super, which I've still got to record, but it's already out there that I'm Gohan, so that's safe to say. Let's see. Some more Hunter x Hunter episodes, as Moral, I think, have been airing lately. I think that's about it, but I have been busy. I have been working a lot this year, and I'm very, very grateful. So more games on the horizon, more shows on the horizon, and I can certainly post about those once they drop on the social media.
Okay. And is it safe to say we're going to get another story mode for Street Fighter V with you guys on there again?
Ooh. It's not safe to say because anything that would happen is an NDA. So, but I'm being 100% honest by saying I have no idea what they plan to do from here on out. I only know once I get a call or an email saying, "Can you come in on Tuesday from 9 to 12? You're working on something super secret." I'm like, oh, okay.
All right.
So yeah. They keep us in the dark for a reason because, you'll get blacklisted real quick if you're posting what you're working on and you haven't been clearance to do that. Coleman.
What? I would never tell it.
I don't know. He only looks guilty. Your kid's giving you the stink eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her mom left without her. So,
oh, okay. It wasn't your fault then.
Oh, not this time, no.
Not this time.
Oh, wait. I should show them? Yeah. I'm still looking for pictures now.
So what advice would you give to fans and audience here that would love to get into voice acting or podcasting?
Do anything else. Give up. Run. There's too many of us. Please. No more. No more. There's
You'll be
no
poor.
more room. Everything has been cast. No, just kidding. No, I'm a big proponent of paying it forward. People helped me out in the industry before I was in the industry. And I do believe in spreading the signal far and wide that people who want to do any sort of creative endeavor in their life, whatever career path they take, they need to take baby steps towards achieving that goal, because you try to bite off too much at once, it's really hard to, it doesn't seem like it's achievable. It seems more doable in small chunks. Like for acting, you start small. You start saving your money, which is really hard to do because you're barely making ends meet. You have that day job and stuff. You start taking a class. You save your money, maybe move to a big city like Los Angeles, and you get some roommates. And if your roommates happen to all have the same goal, that's great. Everyone start networking together, and people start pooling their contacts and spending time with people. And you know, after your classes, then you move to the demo stage. You get a demo professionally recorded and in the hands of talent agents and casting people, and hopefully you'll be able to snag an agent to represent you and get you auditions for bigger things that you wouldn't be able to get on your own. And this process takes years. I mean, like, excruciating amount of time. The people that just broke into it and fell into it and suddenly super rich and famous, that is not the rule. That is definitely the exception. So a lot of us struggle. I mean, even those who have notoriety and have a big resume and have what seems like forward momentum, it's like, oh, you're so well known, you must live in a castle. Like, nope. We all have bills to pay, and that doesn't end. And sometimes you got strong weeks followed by a few dry months, and you gotta just ride the waves. Be prepared to have a long career of roller coaster rides, ups and downs, and hills and valleys, and never give up. Stay committed. If this is what you want to do deep down in your soul, and it's meant to happen, it'll happen.
Definitely. So I guess I'll be definitely seeing you guys when I move out to LA next year.
Hey, he's coming out here.
Oh man, why would you want to leave Hawaii? Come on.
I got an offer. Yeah, Google gave me an. I got a job offer from Google to be I'm going to be a user interface engineer.
Okay. Well, good. All right. There's half the battle. If you want to get into acting, your job is going to pay for your move?
Yeah.
Okay. That's one huge hurdle you don't have to worry about.
The only problem with it is they want me to move now, and I'm still stuck in a contract at the hospital I'm at till August, so I'm like,
Oh.
The hospital's
gosh.
Hospital's like, yeah, you can leave. You just got to pay the $10,000 of training that, we invested in you. And I'm like, can I write an IOU?
Wow. All right. So start your Kickstarter.
Right. GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Yes.
Please fund me.
It's not get me to LA. It's get me out of my contract so I can go to LA on someone else's time.
Right.
Get me out of here.
Oh wow. So will we ever get the chance to see you out here in Hawaii again?
Oh man, I hope so. I've got a friend or two there. Hopefully I'll get to one of those Comic-Cons in Honolulu.
Harassment.
That's the only part of Hawaii I've ever been to, and yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. But I would love to see Maui and love to take a tour of more of the area and stuff. But yeah.
Well, I have been, along with Video Gamers Hawaii 808, we've been working towards harassing the guy to get you guys out here. Because that guy's he's going to get sick of the DMs from us. We're like, are you going to bring him out here? Because they're announcing, like, the next con. They're like, yeah, we're going to have Tower Strong and whatnot. And we're like, okay, cool. Are you going to have Michael Coleman? You're going to have Dorothy Fawn? You're going to have Kyle? They're like, no response. We're going to keep messaging you.
Totally. Yeah. Well, that's a key thing that you're bringing up. But yeah, we don't want to harass the conventions because that could work against our favor. We'll never be invited. But the important thing is to do what you absolutely did and reach out, post on their social media, email them, direct message them, whatever. Let them know who you want to see as a guest at your local convention. And then, if they're interested, they'll reach out to us, and then we'll work out the details and make it happen on our end.
Yeah,
Rix and I literally hounded him every single day at Comic-Con. And he was like, more and more, he's like, yeah, okay, no, absolutely, yeah, contact me, yeah, let's do it. And no.
Not so much. No, absolutely not.
Right back. Does email still work? He's like, yeah, totally. Okay, great. So about we talked to Comic-Con. Hello? Damn it, Jimmy. So I'm like, hey, fans, can you harass Jimmy? And they're like, we've been harassing him. I'm like, maybe he hates me now.
Oh, my.
Oh, well.
And so I guess one of my last questions that I'm going to ask, and, Coleman, it's going to apply to you as well, but you guys do work with Unlocked, correct?
Oh, yeah. I can tell everyone here. Unlocked it's like Periscope. It's a live stream thing for people. Right now, it's geared towards people in the industry, in the pop culture, anime, gaming industry, cosplay, writers, engineers.
Dude hit me up on Facebook, on my page, and he was like, he wanted me to do voice for like a comic that he did. Yeah, and he was like, hey, I guess it was Unlocked. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And so I said to him through that, he's like, you got to get on there. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Yeah, but this is an app created by David Vincent and Bryce Papenbrook. So you should message one of those guys, and because they are on the heels, just on the cusp of dropping the Android version of the app out, and that means you would launch a stream, and your fans would come into a chat room watching you broadcast from your phone wherever, and you do Q&A. You can. It's kind of like Periscope.
Okay, sure. Or didn't you used to do like, hey, was it on Twitter? What was it? Where you're like, hey, I'm going to be online doing nothing. Come talk to me.
It's basically that. Yeah, it's like doing a Twitter Q&A, but on camera.
Or like the one guy who'll be like, hey, I'm eating right now.
Yeah. I mean, different people are doing different things. They got these two sisters called the Chalk Twins. So they get on the chat and they live stream. They point their phone at the artwork they're making with chalk on sidewalks and stuff. And cosplay people give cosplay tips. And
where are you?
Where am I?
Yeah, was that truck?
Oh no, that was me.
That was me.
I heard it on your end.
Oh, that was...
That was me.
Island of Honolulu is sinking, apparently.
Yeah. We had the
Godzilla is attacking the Casanova podcast as we speak.
Right? We just had the Hells Angels go by.
Wow. So realistic. It sounded just like a Hells Angel motorcycle. Yeah, when Cody came out for Street Fighter V, suddenly all the, it was kind of like when, water brings plants back to life. Suddenly, like, all these people were like, hey! And they're like, what's your Twitter? I'm like, oh, wow, I deleted that like a year ago. They're all, oh, what? I'm like, yeah, I literally never used it. And, there's really gross people on there. So I covered it. They're like, what do we do? Okay. But yeah, for like a week or two, people were just like, you did what?
Yeah, it's a little dance you have to do on social media.
Yeah.
Fine.
So, let's see. What is my last question? I had a question. I forgot what it was.
I could download Unlocked and leave you with Kyle.
Well,
like a third. What?
The question is,
okay.
to both of you guys. I'll go ahead and just throw it to both of you guys. Did you have fun?
Oh, of course.
I enjoyed every minute.
It was a very unexpected surprise getting to see Michael. I haven't seen him in a long time. Because usually it's in passing at something like Comic-Con, like, hey, I know you.
At the park.
Yeah, at the park. We had a little gathering at the park.
Yeah, we had a picnic and a signing.
You were signing Street Fighter stuff for a charity, yeah.
Did you guys already talk about Wreck-It Ralph and how you are not in it, and that's not right?
Well, I am in it, but
no, in the new one.
Yeah, in the new one.
You are? Who? Where?
There's a scene at Tappers when everyone says cheers, and in the back you hear Ryu, and he does this. Sure, you can.
Wait, hold on. They didn't make you record just for that, did they?
No, they lifted the track from the previous session.
Okay. Oh, okay. Did they pay you for it?
Did they what?
Pay you for it?
Oh, yeah, I will be paid. I'm still waiting. But yeah, I will be paid.
All right.
Yay, residuals. I'm not in the credits, though.
I know. I was explaining to Patty the whole Zangief thing, that the director's is such a big fan that he does the voice himself and didn't hire the actual voice actor. That's also why he's the one that talks.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Rich. You're already sour, Bill.
But actually, yeah, I first knew Kyle through Ground Control.
Oh yeah, Ground Control, a little karaoke night.
Yeah, you're the random guy that Deb and Sarah kept bringing over. They're like, "This is Kyle." We're all like, "Okay." She was very nice. Y'all got to calm down.
Craziness.
Yep. Oh,
times.
What's that?
What happened?
Yeah, and we bumped into each other at the. I can't say why I was there. They're at a place.
At a place with stuff and things.
And I took a picture that I'm not sure I can release yet, but yeah. There's
Yeah.
that.
We always do that. It's like, I hope you remember to post this 6 months from now.
My problem is I keep stupidly dressing up like Cody whenever like a recording, and then I realize, oh, I can't post this picture.
No!
Because, oops, oopsie.
Yeah, like walking around in E3. It's like, there's my voice coming out of this trailer, and I can't say
Oh.
anything.
Yeah, that was the weirdest. I think it was Tekken. Like they or Street Fighter 4. I don't know. They released like at Comic-Con. There was a huge trailer with like Cody and Guy and all them, and I was like, sweet. And I'm like posting. I'm like, hey everybody. And then Talos was like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, what? What? Can't announce that. But I'm right there. What? Me and my voice in my face. Or not my.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you can't say. I'm like, but I don't know. He's like, Cap. Oh.
Even though I was the voice before, I still can't say it. Like, if Ryu pops up in a new trailer, I can't say it.
Just go, oh, weird. Huh.
That is some weird, wild stuff.
People are gonna walk up and be like, "Isn't that you?" I don't know. That sounds like you. I know, right? I don't know who that is.
Who is
Did that on
doing an imitation of me?
They're like, hey, the game's coming out. Are you doing the voice? I'm like, wow, I sure hope so. It's like, is it coming out in 2 weeks? Is it? Huh, weird.
The answer lies in the heart of battle and Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Casanova Podcast. This is Kyle Hebert, the voice of Ryu from Street Fighter. Hadouken!
Awesome.
Dude, how am I gonna? I can't top that. Hold on. I always forget my lines. Oh wait, what's my thing about like I don't like to do desk work or something?
Desk work just isn't my thing.
Okay. Right.
Or it's boring the crap out of you or something like that.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey. Hey, this is Michael T. Coleman, Cody Travers from Street Fighter V. Desk work just ain't my thing, but you know what is? The Casanova Podcast, #1 in Hawaii. Bingo!
Awesome.
That and violence. Mostly violence. I may have a problem.
Like punishment by fist.
Punishment by podcast.
There you go.
Casanova Podcast. It's like a fist right in your ass. Edit all that together.
There's so many fisting jokes in the script for Street Fighter.
It's like oral sodomy. Oh yeah, there's so many prison jokes they cut out every time I go in the booth.
Oh god.
Or Dallas is like, no. Okay, do one. We'll see if they say no. Sorry, Kyle. Maybe your character needs to go to prison. Then you'll have so much material.
Oh, God. All right.
You have your love affair, and that's fine. Okay.
All right. I'll say thank you guys for being on the show.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll keep in touch with you as well, Kyle. Coleman, I
Hey.
talk to you every day.
Oh, yes. Bye! Take care of my screaming kids.
All right. Bye,
Have
guys.
fun.
Mahalo.
Did you enjoy this episode of the Casanova Podcast? Well, I hope you did. And if you did, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let us know what we can improve upon, what you liked, what you didn't like, and all that good stuff. And just make sure you always have a good time. That being said, this is your boy Mikhail Casanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber. I am signing out, and I'll catch you on the next episode.